The trees left after a harvest, leaf trees, are the essence of a good harvest. They are the forest of the future. Leaf trees should represent a portion of the best trees available before the harvest and should be designated in advance by a forester.
What makes a good leaf tree would be a tree that's going to meet your objectives as a manager, as a landowner. If you're looking for growing, producing timber, then you want a tree that's of good form, that appears to be free of insects and disease damage, free of mechanical damage, typically has basically one leader, one growing point that's dominant, so that it has the timber production there, capability. If you're looking for a tree for wildlife, then you may want some defect in that tree. You may want a rotten spot that's somewhere up the tree trunk that's going to be a site where a cavity nester perhaps can make a nest. Or you may want some large branching on that tree where a raptor can make a nest. So it's really, what makes a good leaf tree? Again, it comes back to what are your objectives.
The quality of the future forest can be seen in the quality of the leaf trees after a harvest. Many of the traits that determine a good leaf tree are passed on through its seeds. It's a matter of promoting the best genes available.
Well, trees have genetics too, just like animals, and if you take the poor genetics out and leave some of the good, then the good genetics of trees will grow back and you'll have good straight logs and good straight trees and healthy trees.
The trunk of a leaf tree should be reasonably straight, lacking major forks or crookedness. Leaf tree foliage should have good color and a vigorous appearance, and should be balanced in its distribution along the stem of the tree, covering at least 1/3 of the trunk length. Designate leaf trees that are free of insects and diseases that threaten the future forest. A diversity of tree species, ages, heights, and diameters should be maintained and protected. Snags, or standing dead trees, have tremendous wildlife value and usually little commercial value. Where possible, retain at least 4 snags per acre.
A good snag is one that's going to stay in place for a number of years for wildlife habitat. Not going to just fall over in the next windstorm. It's a tree that's large enough to provide some habitat. Generally, good snags are going to be some of the larger trees in the given forest that you're dealing with. Generally, your larger dead trees are going to stay standing longer than the smaller ones.
Logging is difficult, and there are many variables to consider when falling or skidding a tree, and some damage to remaining trees should be expected. Foresters try to limit this damage to less than 5% of the leaf trees. An objectionable and all too common practice is high-grading a stand of trees. In other words, take the best and leave the rest. One form of high grading is removing all trees larger than a certain diameter limit. This removes the faster growing trees and promotes the slower growing trees, not what you want.